Straight ahead on 12 News. A water main break floods a Robbinsdale street and leads to a big problem for neighboring homeowners.
Out of the drain was like a water fountain of sewage.
Plus, a heightened alert about the rise in heroin abuse cases. A Plymouth Town Hall meeting looks at the root of the problem. And later, life away from the hustle and bustle. We saddle up for a unique weekend event. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. It happened again. For the second time in less than 2 years, Robbinsdale residents are dealing with a big water main break.
On Thursday night, a water main burst, flooding a portion of 42nd Avenue. And that's where Eric Nelson went today to check on the damage.
A lot of water coming out of that pipe. That's caused the road to create a hole.
Water was gushing and rushing after a 36-inch pipe sprung a leak. Gallons of H2O created a mini lake on 42nd Avenue. The flooding also left a large crater in its wake, forcing the city to close the road.
So far it looks like things have been fairly sedate at the moment, and hopefully we'll get the road repair up and going quickly and have the road reopened soon.
So I went down here and the toilet was gurgling up.
The rushing water also caused havoc.
Then I hear a shh.
For Robbinsdale resident Lisa Woodruff.
And out of the drain was like a water fountain of sewage, just pouring everywhere.
The water main break created sewer backups for Woodruff and her neighbors.
This is awful.
Leaving a foul mess and huge cleanup costs.
The city is paying for the cleanup and like taking out the walls and all that kind of stuff, but any repairs, any loss is ours.
That's, I guess, to be expected when you've got that much water coming out of the water pipe, finding its way into the sanitary sewer system and carrying debris such as sand and other debris into the pipes.
There was nothing we could do.
Woodruff's problems were magnified even more Thursday night. They could not leave the stench of their house because 42nd Avenue was blocked off.
So we were stuck here and nobody knew anything that had happened to our houses down here, even though we called.
That's Eric Nelson reporting in Robbinsdale. That pipe is 50 years old and doesn't actually supply Robbinsdale with water. Instead, it carries water to Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley. And those cities are now getting their water from another supply line. Last year, another water main break caused major damage at 42nd Avenue and Bottineau Boulevard. It created this giant 20-foot sinkhole. It took about 2 weeks to make repairs and reopen the road. In Plymouth, at least one person was injured after a multi-vehicle accident that happened around noon at the intersection of Peony Lane and Old Rockford Road. Police say a driver making a left turn failed to yield to oncoming traffic and crashed into another car. One of the cars then slammed into a third vehicle. At least one person was taken to the hospital.
A Minneapolis man faces a possible life sentence after a jury found him guilty of preying on a vulnerable adult for sex. According to the criminal complaint, Corey Gordon was arrested after the victim's mother spotted him at the Courage Kenny Rehab Institute in Golden Valley. Prosecutors say Gordon posed as a personal care attendant there. The incident led to a civil lawsuit against Courage Kenny. Now to a problem in the suburbs that's on the rise.
Residents in Plymouth attended a town hall meeting Thursday night to learn more about the rise in heroin abuse. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton explains where experts believe the problem begins.
It's here, it's our reality, and it's something that we're dealing with on a regular basis.
Plymouth Police Chief Mike Goldstein says we need to change the way we think about heroin.
When you think of heroin abuse, you think of alleys, the 1970s, you know, people with needles hanging out of their arms, urban environment, and that's not the reality anymore.
Instead, it's cheap, incredibly potent, and heroin use begins where you might least expect. Not in those back alleys, but instead the gateway lies with what's inside your medicine cabinet at home.
I didn't necessarily think that it was ever going to happen to me. I wasn't going to be that guy that was addicted.
That's how it began with Will Connell.
It's a similar high to OxyContin, Percocet, Vicodin, pills that are prescribed on a daily basis. It even feels the same as the high, but it's cheaper and it's easier to get because you don't need a prescription for it.
Law enforcement say heroin and prescription painkiller abuse is on the rise. Heroin deaths have drastically increased from only 6 in 2008 to 56 in 2013. As of August of this year, we've had 34 heroin deaths. Hospitals have also seen more overdose victims brought to the ER.
We're certainly seeing some increased volume.
Panelists at this town hall encourage family members to talk about medication use and abuse and to dispose of old medications through drop boxes.
The more people understand some of the risks of taking some of these medications, both when they're prescribed to them to make sure that they're taking them as prescribed, but also making sure that those prescription medications don't get into the wrong hands.
Hennepin County has 2 drop boxes in our area, one in Brooklyn Center, one in Brooklyn Park. And panelists say when it comes to talking to your kids, also beware of those warning signs like a change in behavior, a change in friends, money disappearing, or losing interest in activities. Mike?
All right, Shannon, thank you. Headlines in the NFL are calling attention to cases of domestic and family violence, and the issue is the focus of a community meeting Thursday in New Hope. State Senator Barbara Goodwin highlighted Minnesota laws to protect victims. The New Hope and Crystal police chiefs also participated in the discussion, shedding light on how seriously they now handle domestic violence calls.
This is a high standard for officers involved. It's a different time now. So where one of us might be on a call backing an officer up, and we might recognize something the other officer doesn't see, and we step right up and say it.
The community meeting was put on by the League of Women Voters representing Crystal, New Hope, and East Plymouth. Coming up, from the suburbs to the stables, we'll show you the tour inspired by the love of horses.
And then a little bit later in sports, rivals Maple Grove and Osseo go head-to-head in girls swimming and diving.
But first, a weekend warm-up. We approach 80 degrees on Saturday before it cools down again on Sunday.
Surly Nation will be out in full force Saturday for the Brooklyn Center Brewery's 7th annual Surly Fest. It's a chance for Surly fans to come out and sample Surly's seasonal Oktoberfest beer. Surly's new destination brewery in Minneapolis is scheduled to open in 2015. You have heard of the Parade of Homes. This weekend, you can take in the Parade of Stables.
In Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley shows us a much different experience when it comes to horses near the suburbs.
It seemed like fun, and I started, and I've loved it ever since.
16-year-old Golden Valley resident Hannah Tausey has a very special friend named Jonesy.
I've known this horse for about 3 years, but I just started showing him this year.
Although Hannah doesn't own Josie, she does visit him a couple of times a week at Center Point Stables in Delano.
Good boy.
Jonesy is just one of the American saddlebred horses at Center Point.
We want to expose as many people in the state to enjoy our horse, our American saddlebred horse.
On Saturday, the Minnesota Saddlebred Horse Association hosts the Parade of Stables at 7 different barns around the Twin Cities. Plymouth resident Sally Tesh is president of the MSHA.
So we're having people have pony rides, grooming demonstrations, riding demonstrations.
Try.
The American Saddlebred is a uniquely American horse with roots in our country dating back to the mid-1800s.
Good boy.
Well, we call them the peacock of the show ring because they have long, stretchy necks, they have a lot of motion, have a lot of personality. They're bigger than some of the other breeds so that they allow taller riders, bigger riders to have something that, you know, they are proportionate to.
Besides learning everything you might want to know about saddlebreds, the atmosphere at Center Point is the definition of tranquility.
I get to just like come out here and just like relax and ride horses, and just like the stress kind of just like melts away.
For Weekend Showcase
Good boy.
at Center Point Stables in Delano, I'm Neil Persley.
And for more information on the Parade of Stables, complete with a list of stables and maps, you can go to the Minnesota Saddlebred Horse Association website. That's at msha.org. Beautiful horses.
Yeah.
Beautiful setting out there, isn't it?
Makes you want to ride, that's for
Yes,
sure.
for sure. Coming up, why hundreds of women made a run for it in Maple Grove.
But first in sports, the Champlin Park volleyball team aims for a big road win. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
pretty good volleyball in the area, and in fact, there's several teams that could still run away with the championship.
In the Northwest Suburban Conference, yes. Yeah, very tight race at the top. 5 teams came in to Northwest Suburban Conference volleyball play Thursday night within a game of first place. Maple Grove and Champlin Park were 2 of those teams, and they met at Maple Grove. The first set is tight all the way. Paige Aspinwall to Lauren Bright for the kill, and a 9-7 Crimson lead. A few points later, Crimson middle blocker Alexa Otto handles the Rebels' overpass and gets the kill. Maple Grove leads 13-10. But Champlin Park rallies late, scoring the final 4 points of the set. Keely Miller and Jenny Alderson get up for the block, and Champlin Park wins 25-23. The second set is mostly Champlin Park. Hannah Krimble gets the ball to Sydney Hilly for the big swing and kill. Rebels up 11-8. Later, it's Hilly setting to Alderson for one of her big kills. A good match for the junior. And Champlin Park wins 25-17. Crimson fans trying to rally their team in the third. Aspinwall gets a block, and Maple Grove is down just a point early. But Champlin Park wins this match in 3. Alderson and Marissa Vattendahl-Vidal get the block as Champlin Park defeats Maple Grove, and they try to keep improving from match to match.
Well, every night we just keep looking for things to work on. We take it to practice, come back the next night and work on it, and it's been working for us so far.
Tutino Grace lost to Blaine Thursday night, leaving Champlin Park as the lone unbeaten team in the Northwest Suburban Conference matches. Maple Grove's girls swimming and diving team is always a contender and frequently a champion in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Thursday night, the Crimson hosted rival Osseo. Maple Grove looking to start the season 3-0. The 200 medley relay is close all the way. Osseo's Caitlin Strauss gives her team the lead in the butterfly leg. And then Emily Lowell brings it home for the Orioles with a winning time of 1 minute, 54.52 seconds. 200 freestyle, Maple Grove's Rose Gallagher wins big. Her time, 2 minutes, 0.61 seconds. In the 200 IM, Maple Grove senior Aaron Buck sets a new pool record with a time of 2 minutes, 9.89 seconds. The Crimson's Allison Schulte wins the diving competition with a total score of 227.4. And in the 100 butterfly, Buck does it again. This time she sets a pool and school record with a winning time of 57.99 seconds. Maple Grove wins the meet over Osseo 96-82. In a big meet at Edina, number 1 Wayzata beats second-ranked Edina 103-83. The Trojans medley relay team of Carly Quast, Madison Price, Lexi Schaff, and Colleen Donlan set a new pool record at the Art Downey pool, swinging to a win in 1 minute 45.10 seconds. We're heading down the home stretch of the regular season in soccer. 2 teams fighting to stay near the top of the Northwest Suburban Conference girls race met up as Park Center hosted Blaine. And Blaine's Brittany Monty wastes little time getting on the board. She's in alone to score for a 1-0 Bengals lead. That's a familiar sight in this game. Park Center plays well in the first half. After a corner kick, they keep it alive. Molly Munson gets the shot, but Emily Brown makes a nice save for Blaine. Pirates get another scoring chance. The loose ball ends up with Josie Pay, but her shot just high over the crossbar. Pirates trail at 1-0 at halftime. Second half, man, Monty strikes again. She'll blaze past the Pirates defense and tucks a shot away for a 2-0 Bengals lead, and she's not done yet. Monty's third goal comes on a perfect direct free kick with Emily Nelson looking right into the setting sun, and Blaine wins this one 3-0. The unbeaten Maple Grove boys hosting Elk River. Ben Zaver steals the Elks pass and gets it over to Reed Diamond, who rolls the shot inside the post to make it 1-0 with 9:31 left in the first half. Same score and second half off a throw-in from Trevor Gift. Carson Thomas will head the ball over the keeper and in. And that makes it 2-0 Maple Grove. Free kick by Kevin Hoof is off the goalpost and then a bounce to Zaver, who puts it away. Maple Grove is now 11-0 on the season after a 3-0 win over Elk River. Homecoming football game tonight on Channel 12 as Armstrong takes on White Bear Lake, and Saturday afternoon, too, with Cooper at home to take on Chanhassen.
All right, been talking about that all week.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, John. Now to Local Vote 2014, and 2 candidates running to represent Brooklyn Center and part of Brooklyn Park in the State House.
Democrat Deborah Hillstrom is seeking an 8th term as state representative. Her challenger is Molly Marvin, born in China. She is a nearly 20-year resident of Brooklyn Center.
My name is Molly Marvin. I'm from Brooklyn Center. I'm running for the House of Representatives in District 40B. I'm a full-time working mom and a proud immigrant. I treasure the unmatched freedom in this great country. I strongly believe that in America, if you are eager to learn, if you work hard, you can reach your dreams. I have common sense, and I'm a technical troubleshooter. I will work with you and for you to focus on 3 issues. Reduce spending and lower taxes. Invest in education by promoting a culture of learning and instilling work ethic in the youth. And improve public safety. Please vote for me on November 4th. Thank you for your support.
Hello, I'm Deborah Hillstrom, and I'm your state representative. I grew up in Brooklyn Center. I graduated from Park Center High School and the University of Minnesota, and I got my law degree from William Mitchell College of Law. We've accomplished so much together while I've served in the Minnesota House. We now have all-day kindergarten for everyone in the state. Property taxes were reduced this year from the state, as well as making higher education more affordable. There's still so much left to do. I ask for your support to go back to the Minnesota House of Representatives, to continue to represent you, to make sure that our voices are heard at the Capitol. I ask for your vote in November. Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back. And finally, more than 2,000 women lined up in Maple Grove to give it all they've got.
4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody!
With that, 2,300 women started out on the Lifetime Fitness Espirit de She 5K and 10K race series in Maple Grove. The race celebrates a lifestyle of fitness and the training, hard work, and accomplishment of women, as well as the spirit of giving it a try, no matter what your fitness level is.
If you're wondering, can I do it? You know, just yes, your heart will whisper yes, and just do it. Take the plunge. It doesn't matter how fast you do it. It doesn't matter how far you go. Just do it.
This is the 2nd year for the event in Maple Grove. I like her spirit. Just do it. That's right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everyone. See you back here on Monday.